Good morning, everybody. I am Melody Crenshaw. I want to welcome you to our fall advising series. We've got 3 weeks in a row of transfer advisor specific training using the portal and other Transfer Virginia tools. Like I said, I'm Melody Crenshaw. I am the portal coordinator, so I'm going to be showing you the portal today. My background that applies to this position and this training this morning. Number one, I am the classic story of a transfer student. I did not want to go to college. Both of my parents had master's degrees, so I wasn't getting out of it. So I compromised and went to a community college, did an applied associate degree, and immediately got a job in my field. Yay, my parents were so happy for me. But then I realized I wanted more. I went and transferred to a public college, 4-year, and got my bachelor's degree, and then have continued after that to now have a PhD, that person that didn't want to go to college. So when I'm meeting with students, I love to tell that story because it kind of hits lots of different students in different areas. I have done advising with students both as a faculty member and most recently at Germanna Community College, working with a lot of transfer students or those students that have a mishmash of transfer credits, and how do we apply that all to a degree, and what is the next step. So working on this transfer portal seems to fit right in with my background. So I would like to introduce Emily Muniz.
Thank you, Melody. My name is Emily Muniz. I am the Associate for Transfer and Talent Pathways at SCHEV. I was also a transfer student in Virginia, actually. Did my undergrad in Virginia as well, and graduate work as well. I have 15 years of advising experience under my belt, so I have definitely been in your all's shoes, and I'm really grateful that we get to, bring and share this opportunity with you all today. As Melody mentioned, we have 2 more sessions after this one today. Our topics today are going to include an overview of the portal, showing you all the institutional profile for each of our partner schools that are in here. We're going to go over the Passport and the UCGS and the common curricula. So we're going to cover all of that today. We will allow time for questions at the end. You're welcome to put them in the chat, but as we are recording, we want to make sure that we get through the content first, and then we will get to any questions that you all have. Next week, we're going to be talking about guaranteed admission agreements, guaranteed program admission agreements, articulation agreements. What are these? What are the differences between them? Following these agreements versus competitive admission, and what that looks like, meeting degree requirements, early college programs, and how do those fit into all of this, and then letters of intent. So that'll be what we cover next week. We will tie that into some updates in the portal so you all can see what that's going to look like. This whole series is really about advising and using the portal. We want there to be just this one tool, ideally, that you all are able to use with your students. And then the final week, October 29th, we're going to do transfer advising best practices and where to find the information you need based on various transfer advising scenarios. So as I mentioned, we'll take questions at the end. Feel free to put anything you have in the chat. And I'm going to hand it over to Melody to get us started with a portal tour.
Fantastic. I do just want to add one thing because it may come up as questions. We will be going in depth. Emily will be going in depth into transfer guides on the 29th. But I'll be showing you where those are this morning. All right. So this is where I spend a great deal of my time, in the Transfer Virginia portal. And this can be found at www.transfervirginia.org. We do updates to this portal 3 times a year, and all of the information that I'm going to be showing you is data uploaded by the individual colleges themselves. So we at Transfer Virginia and our web developers are not the ones loading content that is specific to colleges. They are actually loading all of that information themselves. So if you see something about your college that you don't think is accurate, please reach out to either me or find the data person at your college, and I can make that connection and we can make the improvements as needed. So I want to start with what you see on your screen, and yes, my cursor is very large. We've been asked to kind of make the cursor bigger so that you can see that on the screen, so it jumps out at you on the screen. First, what you see is this picture, and the gray pieces below this, and I'm not sure why I've got the 4 stars here, 4 arrows, but we've got the welcome that shows up on the home page, transfer partners, transfer guides, where will my major transfer, where will my course transfer, where can I find an equivalent course, credit evaluation, and my fastest degrees. And you would think when you click on transfer partners, for example, it takes you to a different window and you see the definition of the transfer partners link. Go ahead and click anywhere in this picture, double click, and you will go to the transfer page. Transfer partners page, excuse me. Same thing with the transfer guides. This is the fastest way to get to the transfer guides. Come right here, click on transfer guides, and double click anywhere in the picture. So let me start. So you can navigate using those gray tabs, or we've got a yellow tab across the top. We've got a blue menu bar. And Emily, will you please let people in if they're in the waiting room? I thought I had disabled that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I want to start here by looking at transfer partners. So this is going to show you very quickly who all the participants are in the portal. And then I'll show you how to get to their institution profile and see more about them. All of the 2-year colleges in Virginia are participating. That's all 23 VCCS colleges and Richard Bland College. The 4-year transfer partners who are listed in this grouping are what we call full partners. They've got their profile uploaded. They've got their list of programs uploaded. They've got a lot of details about their programs. In a lot of cases, you're going to see course by course requirements for each of their programs. That's this group. And this is a nice blend of both public and private 4 years in the state. Future transfer partners are currently, they have the institution profile loaded, so you can still see a lot of information about them, but unfortunately, you won't see their list of programs or their course by course requirements, or a lot of finer details about these. We do have 3 of these, all privates coming, no, 1 public and 2 privates coming on with the fall refresh as full partners, so their icons will move up to this group. However, you do see 2 of the big public universities are still not full partners, and they aren't coming on this fall. For a variety of reasons, it's taking longer to bring them on as full partners. And then we have a couple down here who probably won't become partners, but if you click on their icon here or their link, you will go directly to their website. So the beauty of this is that you can find out information about lots of different institutions with just a couple of clicks. So I'm just going to pick 2. I want to show you why it is worth your time to come here and look at these institution profiles. If I click on JMU, each institution is going to have a blurb that they write, a gorgeous picture. It is fall in the Shenandoah Valley. This could have been taken yesterday, I'm sure. I love looking at these pictures. The value that I find on this page is that these drop-down menus are the same for every institution. So if you want to know an important date, you can come and boom, find out when the transfer application deadline is for fall, and that was May of 2024. These dates are going to get updated with the fall refresh, so you're going to see spring of 24 dates when we do the next refresh. You can search by transfer student or first-time college student. So if you're working with dual enrollment students or high school students and they want to actually start at JMU as a traditional freshman, you have that opportunity to look at first-time college student information. Honestly, I'm seeing that an essay is required or test scores are required, or there might be an earlier deadline. That's primarily the difference between the first-time college student and the transfer. that the transfer might not need those additional application requirements. But it's going to default to transfer student because this is a transfer portal. If you click on academics, you see the definition of this institution's transfer student. Often has to do with the number of credits that the student has completed. You'll see some information about the college fit, what they have defined as their college fit, or information that they want students to know. There might be information about English language proficiency. This is a good link to their guaranteed admission agreement. So there's some good general information there. Admissions and financial aid includes the link to their application, as well as are these various things required with the application. So I said essay or letter of recommendation or test scores. Important dates. Explore our majors. If this is linking, if you're looking at a community college page, you may see links to the different departments within that community college, or at a four-year institution, you may see the link to the College of Arts and Letters or the College of Business, and that will take you right to their website. If you're looking for colleges that offer summer courses, for example, or weekend and evening courses, or even online degree options, those cards are either going to be purple with the green check mark if they offer that, or grayed out if they don't. Campus services and engagement, campus housing, cultural diversity office, sports. Again, bright purple with the green check mark. Yes, they have it. Gray, they don't. Military friendly, again, will offer links to perhaps the dedicated point of contact for military students. And then each college has helpful links. Everybody has their SCHEV profile link, the state financial aid program link, and their catalog link, but they have the option to include two personal college level links. So you might see a virtual tour or a link to a program that they want to promote. You can contact this institution outside of the portal by clicking on Contact This Institution. It will open your email service on your computer, pre-populate with the college's chosen email, and you can communicate that way. These drop downs are the same for each institution that you just saw on the Transfer Partners page, including the future partners. There are a few facts if you pull this out. How does the college label themselves? Rural, suburban, town, city. There is a beautiful Google map. If you click on that, you'll see where it is. You can zoom out to see where in Virginia the college is located. And some institution information. And finally, average class size based on the year, freshman, sophomore, junior, that kind of thing. That undergraduate number really helps the student find the right fit. Do they want a large university? Do they want a very small university with more personalized attention because their average class size is 12, for example? You can get that information on that pink pop-out. All right. The other tab up here in the yellow is the programs and courses. And I will tell you that coming in our mid-November refresh, we're actually going to separate that out to a programs tab and a courses tab. I think most people are using programs, but we do have a new portal that will be coming on board with online information only. And they have some unique things that they're going to be doing with courses, so it made sense to separate out. If you click on programs, you can see right now it opens to programs, but you could click on courses, and now you see all the courses. That's the split that's going to take place. With the programs, please use the filters on the left-hand side to narrow down this list. You may want to look at just a particular university or community college. You may want to just search by awards. I only want to see associate degrees, for example. Special initiatives, if you're working with a student that has done some workforce things and you want to look at fast forward programs only, excuse me, that would be on the academic side, but I know we have a good number of academic programs, certificates and career study certificates that fall under fast forward. You can narrow the list down. We also have a career cluster list. And so I believe this is coming from the Department of Labor, and I think this is being updated, maybe not this fall, but next spring. I think they've changed some of those career cluster headings. And you might have a student that's specifically looking to do this online only. So you want to search by programs that can be completed fully online. Lots of different ways to filter. You can also use the keyword search. So for example, and I'm going to use this as an example in a little bit, I'm going to click on Virginia Commonwealth University and only search by accounting. And there it narrowed it down to the 2 options that VCU has for accounting. And they're the same program, but one is available fully online. So you can do a lot in narrowing down programs. The other item that's up here in the yellow tab is events. I'm not going to click on that, but there are a good number of colleges using this to promote their transfer related events, whether it's an event that's fully online, virtual, or if you've got someone, a university coming to your college and putting a table in your lobby and you want to advertise that to your students, encourage them to keep checking that events tab and make sure that your college is loading those events, even in-person local events, into that. It's a great way for them to know that the college they want to transfer to is going to be on your campus tomorrow. All right, I do want to quickly show the blue tab. We've got a lot of things in the About Transfer Virginia, including if somebody asks you, well, what is Transfer Virginia? Send them to this Transfer VA initiative. It talks about the legislation that started this whole Transfer Virginia effort. Some guidance on getting started in using the portal, some transfer related glossary terms, release highlights. Like I said, we do refreshes 3 times a year. We will tell you what's new in the most recent refresh. Often it's content being updated, new programs, for example, the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration that's being rolled out across VCCS. That might not make it into a release highlight because that is simply the colleges updating their content. But if we put a new feature in to the portal, the functionality, we'll put that in the release highlights. There is a great college location map. So I have a giant one printed on my wall because I might not remember where Mountain Gateway is versus Mountain Empire, that kind of thing. Or if a student is interested in a college, but they don't know where it's located, you can click on that pink tab or come to this college location map and they can see where in the Commonwealth it is. Transfer steps. This is excellent guidance for a student that wants to transfer, but they don't know what they need to do. And maybe they aren't coming in to talk to you. If you refer them to the portal, have them take a look at the transfer steps. Transfer tools includes a lot of really helpful information. Where will my major transfer? Where will my course transfer? Remember, those were on the carousel on the home page. But advisors gave us feedback that they were using those things. That's why we put them right up front on the carousel. Where can I take an equivalent course? This is ideal for the students that's at a 4-year university, knows they're coming home for the summer and wants to do a summer course that will transfer back. They can look up and say, oh, I'm at James Madison and I need to do an Intro to Psychology course. Okay, find out what the JMU course number is. Come here, where can I take an equivalent course? Plug that in, and it's going to show that they could take Psychology 200 at their local community college and have it count back at JMU. We've got disclaimers throughout the portal, but in that case, we would want them to get that pre-approved with their advisor at JMU. But it's really helpful to see if there is an equivalent course that they could take at another college. Search programs and courses, that's just a different way of getting to that yellow link for programs and courses. Check all my credits. I'm going to show you that in a moment. And explore careers. This is a great tool if students don't know what they want to be when they grow up. There are lots of career exploration tools out there. This is another one. Use whichever tool you feel comfortable with, or have them do a couple and see if they get different responses, different suggestions. The Resource Center, I'm going to click on that and just show you briefly. There is a wealth of information in here, and we keep making updates to it. A lot of this is in a document format, whether it's PDF or a Word document. It might be a worksheet that helps students prepare for their advising session, or a worksheet that helps them estimate the cost of college so that they could plan for financial aid, for example. I encourage you to, again, use the filters on the left-hand side, maybe filtering by resource type, and you'll see worksheets. Videos, there are lots of how-to videos loaded. Transfer guides is going to be a big one, and we're going to focus on that in our advising session on the 29th. But please come here and look at those. I'm actually going to show you another way to get to them in a moment. But we've also got policies and documents and agreements. Guaranteed admission agreements fall under those agreements, but there's another way to get to kind of an abbreviated snapshot of a GAA. I'll show you that in a moment too. Filter by topic. We're actually going to come back to that later today and show you some common curricula. We may be showing that. Yes, we're going to be showing that here. Sorry. But there's a lot of really good information here. You can filter by applicable school. Probably that's going to lead you to transfer guides. I think that's really what we've got in here with the school label. And certainly when you are searching for transfer guides, you can filter also by institution or by discipline at the two-year college. So all of this is to help you narrow down from thousands of documents to the 2 or 3 that you really might need. But a lot of good information here. All right, and then the final thing, yes, there's contact an institution there, but I want to now go back up here to the login in the upper right-hand corner. So 2 different things. One, as an advisor, you can have a staff account created by your institution manager. Each of the participating colleges has an institution manager. If you're not familiar with who that is, we'll make sure to put our emails in the chat before we finish this. Reach out to me and I am happy to connect you with your institution manager. You may have the role of advisor already assigned. That way, a student inquiry could be assigned to you as the advisor. But I also want to make sure that you focus on the login and suggest that your students create free accounts here. And if you click on login, it talks about the benefits of creating a Transfer Virginia account. Really, for the student, it means that with that login, anything they add to their portfolio gets saved. Any bookmarks that they mark on a college they want to go back and look at, a program of study they want to go back and look at, a course that they might be interested in. They can bookmark all of those, and each time they come back and log in, those items are saved. So I am actually going to log in. Bear with me. I don't often type my password well and talk at the same time. And we all hold our breath to see if it's actually going to work. It's just being slow. Come on. Holy cow, it's really being slow. There we go. Okay, it did work. It's not usually that slow. This is what the student sees when they log in. And a couple things that are really important now, up along the top, messages. These are messages that an advisor might be sending back to them if they've reached out to a college. And I clicked on that. I didn't mean to. This giant cursor is a little clumsy. My bookmarks. If I have bookmarks saved, this is where I'm going to see them again. repeating the transfer partners, the programs and courses, events, and now I can see my account to change my password or add information into my account. But that is not where I want to go first. I want to start with my story. So this is where a student can update their profile, add items to their portfolio. I will say that adding skills is really for the resume builder, and we are actually taking the resume builder off. It's not being used. We know there are a lot of resume builders out there. Now we've got AI tools that are creating resumes. We're actually going to take the resume builder off. But again, here they can do a quiz and look for more careers. I want to focus on the portfolio in the few minutes that I've got remaining. This is where a student can add, either upload a VCCS or Richard Bland or Military Joint Services transcript. We want the unofficial transcripts because we're able to standardize that across VCCS. If they load that, or if they click that, they simply locate the file on their local computer, upload it, and it pulls all the information from that transcript so quickly. It's incredible. I love that. I don't have one to share with you today, though, so I have loaded in a number of courses, and I want to show you add to portfolio is super easy. You have the option of an academic course, an exam like a CLEP or an AP or an IB. You do have military options, occupations or courses, and certifications like a Microsoft credential, a CompTIA Network Plus credential. With so many fast forward programs being highlighted, it might be an NCCER core skills craft, core craft skills course credential. I want to add a Germana and start typing correctly the name of the college. And then when it pops up, click on that. That means it matches something in our database. And I'm going to start typing business. Actually, I know the course number, so let me type that. BUS 100. Didn't do that right. I expected to see business 100, so bear with me as I type intro. Okay, for some reason it is not liking there. That's not what I want. Cancel that. All right, that is that. Germanic Community College. That's what this is where I type. There's my business 100. All right, I'm gonna type the wrong thing in the wrong place. All right, so you want it to say match. This means that there is a match in the database. And you want to put in, let's see, I want to do this as 22, and we've got a B in that course. Great, you can submit and close it or submit and add another course. And there's my introduction to business taken at Germanic Community College in fall of 22 with a B. Perfect. Let me also just quickly add an exam. And in this case, I want to add an AP exam. So I started typing AP. That's my logical thing. But it says it wants College Board. All right, fine. And this is calculus. And this is the Calculus AB course. Great, it matched the database. I took this in spring of 2022. So let's say May 5th. And I really like calculus, so I got a 4 on that one. Go ahead and submit and close that one. And there's my calculus AB taken May 5th, 2022 with a 4. Beautiful. So this is what the student has loaded in their portfolio. So we're now, oops, I'm not sure that popped up. Check my credits is right there on the bottom, prompting me to go look. The other beautiful thing I love about the portal is I now can see how all of these various partner colleges would award credit for my portfolio courses and tests. And you would expect them to be fairly similar. Question if things are too low or too high. But I'm actually seeing quite a range of things in here. And it may be that, one college awards one class for that AP, maybe somebody awards two. Look at these and see what's being awarded and maybe what's not being awarded. But I want to go straight to an example here of Virginia Commonwealth University. I clicked on that. This is now showing me the source of the credit. So the English class that we took, or the AP course exam that I took, there's that Business 100 that I loaded in. And here are the course numbers and the credit values that they say is equal. There might be notes. So in this case, VCU is going to award 2 courses for my English 111 and 112, but they might only award 3 if I just took one of those, that kind of thing. This is great. Here, there is nothing under the non-evaluated credentials, but for example, if they didn't, this is a good one for community colleges to watch. If the student had scored a 3 on that AP, the community colleges might have awarded credit, but VCU might not have. They might need the 4 or a 5. This is a great place to check your AP or your CLEP or your IB credentials to the different colleges. And then we can check how these credits are going to apply to a 4-year degree. We could go back up here to programs and courses, but we've put a button, Explore VCU Programs, right here. So now it's opening the programs and courses page, pre-filtered to VCU and all of their programs. Again, if I only want to see certain programs, I can type in that keyword search and it's going to narrow that search even more. Now back to those 2 Bachelor of Science in Accounting degrees. And I want to show you this program, and these drop downs are now the same on every program loaded into the portal. So I can see how my credits apply. And actually, let me just back up and show you one thing. See this little icon at the end of the program title? That means that there is a course by course listing for that program. There isn't one next to the online program, so that they don't show the courses for the online. I think they're the same though. But if you go to see how my courses, my credits apply, these yellow highlights are the items in the portfolio that are planned to transfer to this program at VCU. And it will show you that there might be 9 credits of writing required. 6 of those credits are now satisfied through the VCCS courses. You can click on, for example, I don't know what courses fall under creativity, innovation, and aesthetic inquiry. And a lot of the 4-year colleges have categories like that. If you see the red arrow next to the 3 credits for that, you can open that up and see, earn 3 credits by completing courses from the following category: creativity. And if I click on that, it will show me the VCU courses that are labeled as creativity that would satisfy this requirement. So as you're helping a student look at courses for VCU, you can look at these. Let's see, I want to show you a couple other things before I pass it back to Emily. This is a great way to look at applicable admissions agreements. And you can click on, if you're a student at Danville, you can click on this to learn more information about the GAA. I'm not going to go into that because next week's transfer advising session is going to go into great detail about GAAs and GPAAs. There is additional information about each program under the overview and guidance. It might have information like this program qualifies graduates to sit for the Uniform Certified Public Accountant examination in Virginia. CPA, we know that as. But there might be course requirements that you want to come in prepared to start with Calculus 1 in your engineering program or something. Good information there. If you're looking at a 2-year degree, you might want to see where can this degree transfer to see the matching 4 years, or careers where this degree applies. Why am I taking this particular degree? What can I do with it after I graduate? And then there is tuition information under cost to complete. So good information there. I do want to, let's see, I want to shrink that so I can see. I kind of glossed over. There are, as an advisor working with a student, you want to talk about immediately, if you're at a two-year college, you want to immediately talk about the next steps, and you usually do. Do you want to go to work after you complete your associate degree? Do you want to transfer to a 4-year university program? And I will say, in the portal today, what you just saw with how my credits apply is really as if, and I'm going to come back and show you, this really includes the first writing course. So this is really as if the student starts at VCU as a freshman. Or consider the high school student that maybe isn't prepared or doesn't get accepted to VCU, wants to start at a community college before transferring. I encourage you to, if that's the case, have your student complete a Passport or a UCGS, and then take a look at how those credits are going to transfer to the 2 years, to the 4-year, and what they're going to have to complete in maybe year 2 as a sophomore at VCU. That is different than the student that is planning to complete their associate degree at the 2-year and then follow a transfer guide and go in as a junior to VCU. And if that is the case, you absolutely want to look for a transfer guide is available in the Resource Center on this program, or go to the Resource Center and filter by transfer guides. And if they already know the college or they know the program they're interested in, get them started on the appropriate associate degree that will transfer seamlessly with that transfer guide. And like I said, on the 29th, we're going to go deep dive into transfer guides and how to advise with one or without one. I think that's where I am going to end, and I'm going to let Emily pick up. And I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you, Melody. So I'm going to share my screen and take us back to the portal. Let's see. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the Passport and UCGS, and you all may be familiar with this, but we want to just kind of reiterate some of the criteria and how to find it in the portal. So we're going to go to the Resource Center. And then under Filter by Topic, we'll click on Passport and UCGS. And the nice thing is it loads right in the screen. So you can make this bigger, you can go directly to this, or you can just look at it right here. We're going to start with the Passport. That is kind of the first step towards the UCGS, towards the associate degree. And again, we encourage you to start students with that so that they're on the right track. And so with the Passport, there's going to be a little bit of information at the top about the policy, and then they're going to select a course. So select one course from blocks 1, 3, 4, and 5 for the Passport. The student has to get a C or better in order to qualify. And if they've taken a class from each of those blocks, they will be considered Passport certified. It's not a credential. It's something that will automatically show up on their transcript. For you all working with students in SIS, you see it right at the top of the advisement report. So I know you all are familiar with that. But when they complete that, it will be at the bottom of their transcript. And then they are welcome to transfer to any public institution in Virginia or any participating private institution in Virginia. And they will have 16 credits of general education satisfied at that institution. So, a lot of our high school and dual enrollment students are focusing on this. It's definitely going to be a push with some new legislation that has come out to ensure that students are coming out of high school with one or both of these programs so that they're on the right track to either continue at the community college or move on to the four-year university with something kind of guaranteed that's going to come along with them. So that's the Passport. The UCGS, again, Passport's built into this. It's the next kind of step of that. Students are going to choose a course from each block, 1 through 7, and then block 7, they will choose 2 courses. So they'll have English 111, they'll choose either an art, humanities, or literature, a social science, a natural sciences course, a math. You know, if they know what four-year institution they want to transfer to and what major, this information will be included on the transfer guide. And again, we'll show you that in a couple of weeks. If they're not sure, then they can pick, you know, from these blocks themselves, and again, earn that C or better. With the math, you know, they can either choose a quantitative or statistics pathway, a calculus pathway. So depending, you know, on the direction they're going, you can help them pick which math they need based on that. Block 6, and then again, they'll choose 2 courses from block 7, or so they'll have from this list or any of the above, blocks 1 through 6, they can include a course from there. Block 7 is typically going to be indicated on the transfer guide by the four-year institution. So several of our four-year partners have a foreign language requirement, and so you may see that on the transfer guides as being built into that. So with the UCGS, that is a certificate that they can earn. How you all apply that at your various community colleges does differ a little bit, but hopefully students are earning those because we are required to track that information. Again, they have to get a C or better in each of those blocks, and then they are guaranteed 31 to 32 credits of general education at all public and any participating private institution in Virginia. And many of our private institutions are participating. Now, this does not mean that it is waiving the general education as a whole at the 4 years. So, you know, if the four-year institution has more than 32 credits of general education, the student would need to obviously make up whatever is missing, however many credits are missing from that. In some cases, the four-year institution has courses that are not waived with the Passport or the UCGS as part of the general education because they're required as part of the degree. So foreign language, for example, or in some cases I've seen like a health or a PE class. So, you know, if you have students that transfer and they say, oh, I still had to take gen ed and, you know, this didn't work, that's not entirely true. It, you know, is likely that the 4 years still requires some additional general education beyond what is included in the Passport or the UCGS. So that's something to just be aware of and make sure that you share that with your students so that they're not surprised if that happens. In some cases, you know, the UCGS is enough to waive all of the general education and they won't have to make any of that up. It just really depends on the institution, what additional general education requirements they have. One other document that I will tell you we are working on updating, just because we've had some private institutions who want to be added to this, but this is the college list. So all of our publics are on here, but the participating private institutions are listed on here as well. Hollins University should be on here. Ferrum College is going to be added. And then Emory and Henry has a name change. They are now university, not college. So we're working on making those updates and we'll get that updated as soon as possible so that, you know, if you're in an area where you mostly have private institutions, or if you have a student that wants to go to a private institution and you want to ensure that they will honor the Passport or UCGS, you'll want to look at this document here. And how I got here, again, was just by using the filter feature on the left here. So I'm going to uncheck that now, and we're going to look at a different topic, the VCCS Common Curricula. So despite what that number says, we have a total of 28 common curricula, discipline-specific common curricula right now. Within the VCCS, though, there are some common curricula for our AAS programs. So you'll see those at the top there. The reason that you might want to look at these can vary. So if your community college has implemented one of these disciplines, so for example, business common curriculum, I imagine all 23 Virginia community colleges have a business curriculum. Either they have or are working towards implementing the common curriculum version of that. And so you'll be able to see that in your own catalog and your own SIS. But for those disciplines that maybe your institution is not going to implement, but you still, you know, are going to be advising students to follow a transfer guide in that discipline, it might be helpful for you to understand what that curriculum looks like. So I'm going to show you all on the second page here, social work. And so I'm actually going to make this bigger, maybe even a little bit bigger here. And so all of the common curricula look just like this. The top part is going to identify the UCGS courses. And so those are here in this kind of peachy yellow color. With some of our disciplines, the categories are open. The student can choose any UCGS art or humanities, any social science, any math, any science. Depending on the discipline, though, we may have included a specific course within the UCGS to also meet degree requirements for that discipline. So for example, instead of any social or behavioral science, sociology specifically requires intro to sociology. Sorry, social work specifically requires intro to sociology. They have also pared down the math option. So for social work, students should only be choosing one of those 3 math courses. And again, based on the transfer guide, it may even be pared down further depending on the institution. They will choose the intro to biology class as opposed to any UCGS science course. They will take psychology. And so again, we kind of have tailored the UCGS based on the discipline. Then in pink are the major requirements, and if there's room, any additional or prerequisite courses that can be fit in here. For disciplines like engineering, computer science, physics, unfortunately, those are kind of jam-packed with major requirements, and so there's not a lot of room for prerequisite courses. You know, if you've been around prior to Transfer Virginia, engineering always started at calculus. And so, you know, you all have had to work your magic to make that work for students who need pre-calculus. I remember doing that. So that will still sort of work the same. Unfortunately, you know, there's just too many credits already required. There's not really a lot of room to add anything else. But with most of the other disciplines that we have developed, we've left room for, you know, prerequisite math courses or any additional courses that the student should take. Again, it's helpful to look at the common curricula. I would say go through and check these out. We also have these posted on our Transfer Virginia administrative site, where you can see that just to kind of understand the foundation. And that is what the transfer guides are based on. So that's where you'll, you know, see maybe more pared down options based on what the 4-year requires for their major. So I'm going to stop sharing. That kind of wraps up where we are with Passport, UCGS, and the common curricula. This all, again, ties into our transfer guides that we'll talk about in much more detail in 2 weeks. I will pause for questions unless, Melody, do you have anything to add?
I don't have anything to add. So there's a few questions that have been answered in the chat. I did put the link to the administrative site. This is a site that we created to store a lot of documents that aren't really part of the portal. And in some cases, they're working documents. But that's a great source, a great resource for college advisors and staff. We ask you not to share that link, the Transfer Virginia administrative site, with your students. It's not really a student-facing site. There's nothing wrong if a student reads it. It's just not written in a way that students are likely to understand, but you probably will. What kind of questions do you have for us? Go ahead and unmute and ask. Or pop it in the chat, whatever works for you.
And I'll just reiterate, responding to that question about where you can find the courses. You will want to look at the UCGS and Passport course rosters. I refer to those all the time when I'm reviewing transfer guides, when I'm working with the 4 years. So, but I imagine in your SIS, it should have the options as well. It may be more pared down at your individual institution based on what you all offer. But if you want the comprehensive list, you can find that in the portal on the UCGS course roster. It's also on the SCHEV website, but easier to find on the portal.
Christy, I don't know. I haven't tried that. Christy is asking what happens when you upload a transcript and there are courses in progress that semester. I'm actually not sure what it puts in for a grade, but you should be able to go back and click the little pencil and edit and put in a what if grade, put in a B, for example, and it should work from there. And if you'd like to try that and let me know, I'd really love to know the answer.
And I will say, Melody and myself, we are very receptive to feedback. We know that you all are the ones that are
Oh, yeah.
using this every day, not us. So, we have been, tailoring this as needed based on feedback that we've been getting. So we appreciate the feedback, because we want this to work for you all and your students.
I just put my email in the chat again. We make changes to the portal. We make changes in our training as we get feedback from students and any college users, advisors, admission people. So please, if you see something that could be improved, if you see something that isn't working the way you think it should, please reach out to me. Maybe there's a reason why it's doing things the way it is, and maybe it's doing it wrong, or maybe we can make improvements. That carousel totally came from things people are using most. All right. Well, if there aren't any questions, and if you think of something 5 minutes from now, please email us. But I want to thank you for joining us this morning, and I hope you're able to join us next Tuesday morning at 10 and the following week, the 29th at 10 a.m. And we appreciate your interest in the portal and all things Transfer Virginia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.